with anything. And what happens during stressful time, which is really interesting, is your stress hormones come up. And in that, it actually makes it harder for you to think. You end up with a foggy brain. And so if we can calm down your foggy brain, regardless of whatever your stress is, that's going to be very useful. And that's what we want to do. So I'm Robin Bilazarian, and I'm a licensed therapist. This is my colleague, Joan Kaylor. She's also a licensed therapist. And we want to show you some ways that we've been teaching internationally and nationally, colleagues and everyone else, how to do this. So the technique that we want to teach you today is called the emotional freedom technique, also called tapping. And it does come from a very old place. It comes from China and Asia, and it's really old. It's 2,000 to 5,000 years old. That's really old. That's even older than Joan and I, if you can imagine that. Okay? And what it does is it's very calming. In fact, you and Joan and I, we may all start to yawn and sigh a little bit as we do this. And so here's the deal. In life sometimes, so I'm going to show you one round of it, and it's light touch or tapping. I like the light touch, but most people are doing tapping. You can decide. This is inner eyebrow, outer eye, and under the eye, under the nose, under the lip, and collarbone, under the arm. Over here, there's a spot, they call it the gamut spot. Some people don't use this one. I like this one because it's for depression and pain. And this here is called a heart hold. And so I'm going to show you how you can use this for stress. And again, what you're trying to do is you're trying to quiet your body, because when your body is racing and you're trying to sit in your seat and do something, your brain just says, I can't do this. I can't grasp this. And instead of saying, I'm a bad person, I'd like you to say, my stress is over the top right now. I need a stress management thing. And so here's the deal, to be honest with you. There are times in our life that everything just feels very dark. It just feels very dark. Life just feels very dark. Things happen and we can't get it together, and we are mad at ourselves because we can't get it together. And so I'm going to show you. And the words, by the way, my first round is just negative words, the bad words. My next round is going to be negative and positive, and the last one's going to be positive. Okay, so here I go. I'm okay, even though life has been just difficult for me right now. Life has just been difficult. It's very stressful. I can't seem to solve this math problem. I can't seem to get my brother to leave me alone. My mother's on my back too. And I just can't get my head to think. And it's my head that's frustrating me. I need my head to think. And my head just won't think. And that's very frustrating. But you know, I've been through this before. Even though my head won't think now, and it won't think, it's just all clouded, maybe I can get it to think tomorrow, maybe in an hour. Maybe I can even do this weird technique and get it to think. But I just right now don't feel like myself. I don't feel good enough. I don't feel very smart. I feel like I just can't do it, and I'm just very worried that I can't do it. But I can do it. I've done this before, and I'm already feeling calmer. I'm already feeling calmer. This is a strange but interesting technique, and I like it. It's called the emotional freedom technique, and I want emotional freedom. I like emotional freedom. Emotional freedom is good for me. And when I feel emotional freedom, I feel much better. I feel like this is a beach instead of a horror movie. So think about how you feel right now, and you might even notice that your body feels better. And so, yeah, so Joan, maybe you know one too. Again, we're going to kind of do the 3 rounds.
Mm-hmm. So everyone, just as Robin was doing, just tap the side of your hand and say, even though life seems really scary right now, I am a really great soccer player when I play soccer. Even though life feels scary right now, life feels so confusing. I don't understand everything that's going on. I don't understand why I can't be with my friends. I don't understand why we have to stay indoors. I don't understand what's going on. My head won't think. And my parents just seem so confused and upset. And this is so tiring. I'm so tired of being inside. But I know that this won't last forever. I know that eventually this will be over. Even though things are really confusing right now, I know that I'm learning new things every day and I'm staying safe. Even though I feel confused and lost right now and my brain won't think, I know that I will feel better soon. As a matter of fact, I'm starting to feel better right now. Even though this is the silliest thing I've ever done, it's kind of helping. It's kind of making me feel better. It's definitely making me feel calmer. So I even want to yawn sometimes. To be able to just relax. It feels so good to relax. It feels so good to relax. It feels so good to relax. Just to let things go for a while.
Mhm. Thank you, Joan. That was lovely. So right now, there's a little bit of a worry about touching your face. And so you can do this without touching your face. And Joan, why don't you talk them through what you call Think EFT?
Yeah. So all we have to do is think about where we'd like to tap, and it has the same effect. So if we tap on the side of our hand and say, even though feels really confusing right now, I'm a really great kid. And then we just think, now you just think, oh, I'm tapping on the top of my head. I'm tapping my eyebrow. I'm tapping the side of my eye. I'm tapping underneath my eye. And as you can see, I'm not touching my face. I'm coming close, but I'm not touching. I'm tapping under my nose. I'm tapping the middle of my chin. And then I'm tapping like underneath my collarbone. And some people just like to take their whole hand and tap on their chest. And I'm tapping under my arm. And I'm tapping on the back of that hand in that really interesting place between my little finger and my ring finger. And it's just really helping me relax. I love to feel relaxed again.
Mhm.
And then when the weather gets really warm, I can go out and I can feel the sun and it feels so good.
Mhm. So for those of you who like science, okay, they do things called a thermogram. And a thermogram, believe it or not, we emit a little bit of electricity out of our body, and we know that because if I give you a hug and I've rubbed on the carpet, you're going to get a shock. Guess what? These two fingers have more electricity than others. They do, and those are the two that we use in EFT. So even you can do it mentally. You can think to yourself, top of head, inner eyebrow, outer eye, but you can also just get in the vicinity and your body electric is going to light those up. Okay. I want to show you another one. Believe it or not, all the meridians are in your hands. They're all in your hands, which is just kind of amazing. And I'm going to show you something. This here is called a heart hold. This here is called a heart hold. Okay. And again, sometimes life is just difficult. It's just difficult. Okay. And it just feels like, oh my, I just don't know how I'm going to get through this. I just don't know how I'm going to get through this. My head is not working right. My body is all pumped up. I feel racy, and this teacher wants me to sit still. And I can't sit still. I'm racy. And if we slide our hands over again, about every 3 breaths, and say, oh my gosh, my head is just racy. And I don't know how this teacher expects me to sit still because I just feel all pumped up. And I still feel racy. And I still feel racy. But I'm beginning to feel a little better. I'm beginning to feel just a little better. I'm beginning to feel like life doesn't have to be a thunderstorm. Life can be a beach. Okay. And so I can do this and I can calm myself down and I can just let this happen. And this actually feels quite comforting. And I like that. And interesting, a little higher. This here is over your chest. But I just want to tell you, if you go just a little higher, there's something right here called a thymus thump. Okay, now don't club yourself. And in the olden days, used to be what Tarzan used to do. Tarzan would go, ah, Tarzan, okay? Anyway, This here will help you help you if you've got a cold. It helps your immunity system just a little bit. So you may want to thump on that here and there during the day. Yeah. So, Joan, I think what would be useful, because I believe in a lot of repetition, is how about if one of us goes through it one more time so that people can see it,
Yes.
okay? And maybe
Okay.
we'll each go through it one more time, and I'll let you decide. You want me to
Cool
go
beans.
first?
I'll go ahead, Robin. Thank you
Go
very
ahead.
much. Okay, everybody, tapping the side of your hand. Even though life seems really scary right now, I'm a good person and I love to play soccer and I love to garden and cook and I love to do all sorts of cool things. So life feels really confusing right now. I'm not allowed to play with my friends and I'm not allowed to go to a restaurant and sit down and eat with mom and dad. And I'm not allowed to go to sports and I'm not allowed to play soccer. And I can't go to school because school's closed. It just feels really weird right now. All this feels so weird. But someday I will get back to school and someday I will be with my friends. Even though it feels really strange right now to be indoors a lot, I will be able to go outside when it gets warmer and just stand in the sunshine and it'll feel good. Even though it feels a little weird right now to be at home so much and to be studying school at home, I know this won't last forever because Robin and Joan tell me this won't last forever. I will get back to school someday and I will be with my friends someday. Feels a little weird, but it's going to get better. Yes, it's going to get better because everything that feels weird will be over soon. It will be over eventually. It will be over and I will be back with my friends and back at school someday and back playing sports someday and back shopping with my mom and my dad and be outside and with other people someday. So for right now, I'm just going to tap and get relaxed and know that someday everything will be back to normal. Yes.
My turn.
Yes.
So
Go.
even though things feel haywire for me right now, I'm really, really an awesome kid. Get to know me. I'm an awesome kid. Things feel haywire. I having a little bit of trouble sort of paying attention and concentrating. And notice I'm not touching. I'm pretty annoyed. I just feel irritable about life. Things that didn't bother me seem to bother me. Funny, I feel a little more emotional, and that's not usually me. I'm not a very emotional kid. I'm an awesome kid, but I'm not an emotional kid. I just feel off. Life just feels a little bit off for me right now. Under the arm, I just don't feel quite there. This here's called the gamut spot. I don't feel quite there. I don't feel quite there. But I felt like this before, and I recovered, and I did recover in the past. Yeah, I recovered in the past and I did okay. And it was a bit of a challenge and I struggled with it quite a bit. And so I do feel okay and I don't feel okay. And I do feel okay and I don't feel okay. And that is actually called mixed emotions. And that happens. We feel okay, we don't feel okay. And I believe um, that I am going to feel fabulous. I'm going to feel like life is a beach. I'm going to feel like life is a beach. I know that this will pass. I know that whatever people are annoyed with me about, that's going to pass too. I wish I could just fast forward my life a couple weeks so that everything that I think about now would be in the past. And I'm going to be okay because I am truly, truly an awesome kid. And I have a lot of resiliency. Resiliency is the ability to bounce back. That's my new word for the week, resiliency. And I'm an awesome, resilient kid. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So again, I want to tell you that the techniques that we've been teaching you today are called the emotional freedom techniques, also called tapping. And I say that to you because Joan and I are both licensed clinicians. We're doing it. And take care of yourself. You are awesome.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, and keep tapping.